Welcome to My Mustang Garage. On this episode, we're going to be discussing the instrument cluster gauge voltage regulator. This is a continuation of the instrument cluster series. This is part 2. Enjoy. First, what you're going to need is an electrical diagram. And I suggest this electrical diagram by Jim Osborne. You can get them anywhere. National Parts Depot has them. They may be out of stock. I had to wait 3 months to get this one, but they're available, used everywhere. Test the power. We're going to get a power supply. You can easily use a car battery, but there's unlimited power that plugs into the wall. You can set the voltage, you can set the amps, and you can set the minimum and maximum. You're going to need an assortment of test leads, a test light to check the pulse on the voltage regulator. You're going to need an analog needle type multimeter. That's for the voltage regulator function, to see how it's drawing and how much it's drawing, and if it's pulsing the way it should be. You need to see the needle pulse. You can use a digital multimeter, but it's hard to visualize a pulse with just numbers jumping around. But you can use the digital multimeter to test if your wiring, the original wiring, has any opens or faults with the wiring itself. And that's where the digital really shines, is finding your opens and short circuits or anything like that. So let's get started and find out if this $250 used instrument cluster for a 67 Mustang from eBay was actually worth it, or if I got scammed. Now in this instrument cluster, we're going to be checking the voltage regulator that supplies power to the gauges to read correctly, because in Ford's wisdom they didn't change it from a 6-volt system to a 12-volt system with the gauges. So their solution to all this was put a regulator that takes 12 volts, makes it a 5 to 6 volts that supplies power to these gauges that are all from earlier times when they were 6-volt gauges. So if you don't have power regulating through here, you can burn out the gauges. You can have inaccurate gauges or no gauges at all, because this isn't converting power anymore. And there's only a few ways to test this little bugger out right here, and I'm going to show you right now. So to test that out, we're going to have to refer to the wiring diagram. It's easier if you take your wiring diagram electrical assembly manual book, find the page and print it out. Then you can trace down the wires, let you know which color wires you're going to be testing, so you don't get sidetracked or looking at the wrong color wire or the wrong wire. Just trace it to where it goes to the voltage regulator, which 30 is which is power. It's black with a green stripe. So you're going to come over here and you're going to go and look at it. It's really hard to see since they're old and crusty, but trust me, that is black with the green stripe on it. And this one is just black with the green stripe too. But you're going, wait a minute, how come there's two of them? If one's supposed to be 12 volt and one's supposed to be 6 volt. Well, they consider it a continuation of the same power circuit, so it's the same color. But know that the one that comes from the harness side that goes to the plug is the power, which is 12 volts. The black with green stripe that comes from this side goes to the main harness through to the gauges. That's regulated to 6 volts. Just know that the single wire voltage is 12 volts. Well, I flipped it around to show you where the case ground is located. It's on the strap that goes to the voltage regulator, and it's bolted right to the case, to the voltage regulator. That is the case ground, and it does go into the harness and then comes out to the rest of the car. But this is case ground. This is the most important part. Without case ground, nothing works on this case. Now we're going to take and test this voltage regulator, and the first thing you always hook up first is the ground. Make sure the ground is on there, neatly attached. Then we're going to test this out without the harness, because I'm putting a new harness on here anyway. I don't trust 60-year-old wiring. It's hard and brittle. So we're going to take off the black with green stripe, which is the main power, and we're going to hook power to it. After we do that, we're going to see that it's actually drawing 0.03, around 0.03 amps, which you know is drawing current. What we're checking to see if it is pulsing the way the original did back in the day. And what you do is on the ground side, you add ground to the ground over here. We're going to add ground to there. And on the opposite side of the voltage regulator, you should be able to touch it. I'm a little shaky today. Should be able to touch it, and it's going to pulse. As you can see, it's pulsing pretty fast, but it's pulsing. That means voltage is going through here. But now keep watching it. Give it a few minutes, because these are old thermal contacts inside. It'll start flashing faster or slower, faster and slower, like an irregular heartbeat. You want it to be a constant beeping. Not a beeping, but a pulsing light. This one's not pulsing so well. It goes for a little bit and then it stops for a second. This regulator has a weird contacts inside of it, so it's not going to be reliable. Now we're going to test the voltage to see how it reacts. It's supposed to pulse between 0 and 5 volts. You connect the ground to the ground as usual. We already have the power going to it, so we know there's power going to the voltage regulator now. What we're going to do is we're going to touch this side, the output side, to the gauges, and the meter should start bouncing. Well, it should be a constant 0 to 5. And now it's pulsing like very erratic. It works normally from 0 to 5, and then all of a sudden it'll stop, gets really short, fast, quick, and then it pulses all the way up to like 15, 20, almost full voltage. That's not correct. You should never go past 6 volts. 5 volts is ideal, but 6 volts or more is bad. It's spiking up there really bad. So this voltage regulator is actually no good. And it's time for a new one. Now the new one, it's hard to find an original that has the points contact thermocouplers inside that does this pulsing. The new ones do not pulse like this. The new ones are going to stay at 5 volts maximum. And I'm going to show you the difference between the pulse type originals to the constant volts of the new ones. Any cheap multimeter will do this. Set it on DC volts. Put the ground on the ground. The power is on. Touch the lead. And you'll see it's 5.012121. That's where it should be, at a constant 5 volts. It's not going to bounce around. It's not going to jump on the needle. I could put the analog meter on there and it will stay at exactly at 5. So now we know this voltage regulator is trash. It would not made any of the gauges work. You have been frustrated, upset. You put the car back together using original parts. Come to find out that that little electrical part made none of this work. So it's worthwhile to go through and check this out thoroughly, or you're going to give yourself a really bad headache. Now we know this voltage regulator is trash, and we tested the brand new one. And I suggest that you do test the new ones. Not all electrical parts are perfect out of the box. They only do quality controls on a few parts. They do not check every part. So your best bet is to check this. If it doesn't work, work with the people you got it from and tell them, hey, I tested it, it don't work. Can you send me a replacement? Some are nice and will do it, and some will be like no returns on electrical. But do not give yourself a headache. Test these every time. There's an important note to go with these constant electronic instrument voltage regulators. If you do not ground them and install them with the ground before connecting battery power, it will destroy them. And it will also cause gauge problems and possibly a fire under your dash. These can happen to the old original ones where they stop working and the gauge gets full power at 12 volts, and that can start a fire under the dash. But these electronic ones are designed to shut off and basically destroy themselves if the power does go above 12 volts to stop fires. It is a very common problem back in the 6 volt systems, and that's what these gauges are, 6 volts. It's very important. Do not power up the voltage regulator until it's grounded. Very, very important. That means before you put a battery in the car, make sure the instrument cluster is completely installed into the car, into the harness, and everything is grounded first. And you should be just fine. Same thing goes for testing these on the bench. Before you turn your power supply on, connect up the ground first, and then the power. Then you can safely turn on your testing device or battery, whatever you choose to use as a 12-volt system. But always, always, always ground it.